Hello class, in this video we will cover while loops. We covered for loops in another video, and why we use while loop when we don't know how many passes do we want the loop to run for. And this is in this case we have to use conditional statements and that start to be true, and then at some point it needs to have a variable that we can make it false when the loop runs, so that it can if for some reason if we don't do that, we call that the loop will continue to run without stop. We call that infinite loop and infinite loops, and so we have to avoid infinite loops by designing the while loop the correct way. So this is how the structure look like. So it's while, for every while there should be an end statement, and this is, as I said, the conditional statement that should include a variable, and within the body of the while loop we should change the value of the variable. So whenever we wanted to stop processing the commands, then we make the statement false. So then the while will go to the end and follow to the following statements. So that's another way of doing that. We sometimes use the input, ask the user to enter certain numbers, or and then ask the user whenever they want to stop the loop to enter some key or a number that will stop the loop from processing. Let's go to MATLAB and look at a couple examples how to use the while loop. Okay, I have a couple of examples here about how to use the while loop. So as you can see here, we have the while and the end, and they should be at the same level, and then we have the body of the while loop. And this is the conditional statement. In my case, I have the conditional statement x should be less than 15 for the while loop to process. So at the beginning, we start with x equal 1, and we have to do, as I said, we have to change the value of the variable inside the loop so that it will get to the point it will stop, otherwise it will keep running. So for this one, we just want we want to double the value every pass. We want that to double the value of x. So at the beginning, we have x equal 1, and then after the first loop, it will be doubled to 2, then to 4, and then to 8, and then 16. When it gets to 16, then 16 is not anymore less than 15, so the statement is false. Then it will go to the end. So that way we can stop the loop from running again. So let's check and see what will happen here. Let's see what the results. So I just put if print statement to show you that the value before the loop was 1, and then after the first pass, the x changed from 2 to 4 to 6, and then to 16. So 16, it was changed to 16 inside the loop, but when it was checked, then it will not go another pass. So when it was 16, then it will just go to the end and then continue if we have other statements. And as I said, this is a different way of doing loops, because not all the time we know we need to use a set number of passes, and there are many applications that we could use while loop, not for loop. The other type, sometimes we use that for validation. We ask the user to enter something. We use input statement to do that, or command. So like in this case, we want the user to enter a positive number, and we could use the while loop to check if the entry was valid or not. And if the entry was not valid, we just keep asking the user to enter a correct number until it's fixed, and then it will go to the following statements. So let's run it and see what you get here. So the first thing so it will read the first question, so it will ask the user to input a positive number. So let me just put a negative number and see if that is going to work. So if I put -3, then it will check x is if x is smaller than 0 or equal to 0, which is in my case it's true, then it will go inside the loop and it will give the user the message invalid entry, and it will ask the user to enter the number again. So you can see I got the message invalid entry, and I'm asked to put the number again. So let's say if I put -5 this time, then it will keep happening the same as long as you put negative numbers, -100, or it will give you. How about if you put 0, then it will be the same. Now if I finally put correct, like positive number, let's put 7, then the statement is not the statement will not be true, then or it will be false, then it will just go to the end, and then it will print the following statement after the end. Okay, so let's do that. If I put that, and you can see I didn't see the invalid entry anymore, and it showed me the statement after the end. And if we have more statements, the program or the application will continue to operate. So that will give you an idea about some applications for the while loop.